everyone, it's Lynette with Charm Grammy Crochet. How you doing? I got the flicker again. Can't make it go away. Don't know what the story is. So I apologize. I think it just doesn't like the lighting inside my camper. And particularly when the sun has gone down. So as you can see out the window, it's getting dark. And I apologize, but welcome to the camper. This video today is going to be part 2 of the Fiber Fest, and there is a surprise involved. At the beginning of the video, I am in the yarn truck, and you can see all the yarn inside the yarn truck. It's really cool. They travel around, they sell the yarn, and it's very, very awesome. And then I go into it's Katie and Dean that own the truck, and they travel and live in that truck. And it's got to be kind of a hectic, fun life. So anyway, part of the video that I filmed at the beginning when she was talking more about the truck and the company, that video is gone. I don't know what happened to it. It stopped recording on me, and then I thought the video, I turned the video was gone, and I apologize for that. I apologize, Katie. But you can order from them online. I believe all the places that we shopped at, you can order online. And then there's something really special. We had a demonstration on what you do, or how the process works. After the yarn is cleaned, sheared and cleaned and dyed, then it has to be carded and made into whatever fibers you're going to want in your yarn. And so we all picked a color, and we had a yarn designed with the already pre-dyed base colors, and then we got to add to it. So you'll see that video here in just a moment, and then I'll show you the rest of the rest of everything, the rest of whatever I have left. So you see the yarn carded, and what they had a process called dizzing, D-I-Z. You had to go through the diz process, and then it can be spun and turned into yarn. So watch that whole thing. Then we had a demonstration on spinning on a wheel, and a demonstration on spinning on an electric spinner. So I'll put all of that in, and then I'll be back and talk to you again. Maybe, I don't know. It's never done that before. It shut off on me twice already today. It's so cool in here. My husband would just die. I can't wait to show him.
And he's the RV person, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, we live in an RV. Ours does not look anything like this.
I mean, this is a 2016 Forest River Forester. So where you're standing now, that was where the bed was.
Oh, okay.
Like in between where those purple cabinets are there, that it laid across there. So it was a bed and slide, and so it slid back over itself. And then in the middle where that support is, there was a wardrobe. Up here in the front there was a sofa, but it was a dinette to begin with.
Yeah. And
then behind you was where the refrigerator was. We took it out, and now it's the inspiration closet. So all kinds of inspirational things there. Pick out. I'll happy to tell you all about it. And then where the fingering yarn is here, that's where the kitchen was.
Yep. I could see that being the way it worked.
And other than that, we didn't change a lot. I mean, gutted it, yes, basically, but we didn't really change a lot. We took out most of our main storage underneath because there's a storage compartment underneath the bed, and then there's two, one in the wardrobe underneath on the outside, and then two actually down here under the
Dinette.
Dinette was. So we lost all of that storage. There are still compartments under the floor because all of our tanks are under the floor as well. And then right under here is actually our water. So we still have a water heater, and then we also still have and we have our propane furnace and the propane tank are all here. So we left all those there. Yeah, we did take out our shower. This is Lynette.
Lynette.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Lynette's the other one.
This is Dean. He's the other owner.
Hi.
Kathy and Dean.
Hi.
Or Katie and Dean.
It's okay. Yeah, and we. So this is his seat.
Yeah.
We go all
Oh,
over.
you do the driving?
I do.
She's the driver, yeah.
I don't drive either.
So that's okay.
She loves to drive. I don't like to drive. She gets car sick. I don't get car sick. It works out for everybody.
Sure.
He does all of our.
There's Joe. Here's Jackie.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're going to record the whole process. There we go. Oh, I
You get to pick us up.
have to pick your colors. Pick your fluff. And
I know where
there's
she's going. I wonder where she's going.
and there's sparkles and glow in the darks and stuff over here too that you can add if you so desire.
Told ya.
All right, we knew Joe was going for the pink.
Yes, dude.
Yep, without a
I
doubt.
don't know. Yeah.
More blue.
Is that? Can I pick a sparkle too?
Sure, pick.
This is it. This is my color.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, it's like I get torn.
Right?
I think I'm going.
You're
Oh,
going-
that's going to be very interesting.
And Joe's gonna pick a sparkle.
Are you picking
One of them is glow in the dark.
There's a whole series. So they're actually blacklight reactive. All of these, this from here down, and then those are all sparkly, and then there's a blacklight reactive set that's colorful on the back but not sparkly. In the same basic colors. Why you would want blacklight reactive and not sparkly, I do not know.
I
But
don't know, because I don't want to see all the other things black and white picks.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pro sparkle. You know.
All right, throw some. I just stick that in the. I think.
That kind of clashes. Though.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think this. Well, I'm just. I think this is going to be
Are these
interesting.
all our colors?
I still have to
These
pick.
different blues
I have
and
to
a
pick.
pink.
And a pink.
Well, this isn't blue.
That's more of a green.
Well, yeah, teal.
Yeah. Or.
And this is
Robin's
very
and
gray,
Tiffany. Yeah.
neutral.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting. It's interesting.
It's gonna be interesting.
And it's
It's going to be interesting.
Is Tom feeling better today?
a little bit. Yeah.
And you're probably going to.
Yesterday, last night was his very first
Okay.
panic attack.
Now my
That's what
turn.
it was. He had a full-blown panic attack. He thought he was having a heart attack.
Alrighty, let's pick.
All right, what are you getting, Miss
I
Lynette?
don't
I'm
know.
supposed to leave some of this stuff in the truck.
What do you think?
I'm loving it.
Or should we go with?
Okay, I think this is bamboo.
I don't care.
She said you could
Oh
put it
no,
together.
no. I was just making an observation.
Oh, okay.
But you like the sparkle in it. Go with the shiny sparkle.
This one definitely doesn't fit in.
Well, again, once the hot pink showed up to the party,
Anything goes, right?
See, now here's what I think is cool about this. One, it's a fiber that you could use because it's bamboo, but it does kind of it
Pull
seems
the
like it
others
would-
together,
yep,
right?
Yep.
Okay, let's grab this.
Uh-oh.
Is it like a whole? Help me
I
out
think
here.
it's done by
Okay,
weight.
there we
It's done
go.
by weight,
All
there we
right.
go. Look at our gumbo.
Wow.
That's gonna be so interesting.
We're gonna see what she does with this. This is cool. First we weigh.
Take the sparkle out, not weighing the tin because, I'm not going to card the tin, so that seems a bad thing. All right, so we're at 1.6. So 2 more pieces of wool would get us there to 2 ounces. Alternatively, we can roll what we have, which I am fine with doing. It's up to the artist, and that's not me. Pick some more color.
Okay, we gotta pick some more colors. All right, ladies.
More color.
More colors.
Yeah.
Okay, more colors or more weight?
Both.
We need-
good point. So here are your colors.
Okay, this is
The
what we
reference.
have.
Right.
Some purple.
Okay.
Well, you're the purple queen. Pick a purple.
Oh, you want a
Oh.
light purple? Ooh. That's almost navy.
Yeah, that's.
Here we go.
I kind of like that one. What do you think? Throw that one in there.
Oh, this is so interesting. I like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Exciting.
You think that's enough?
We shall. Ooh.
Come on.
Hey, whatever you want to
Let's
do,
be
I'm
a-
game with it.
Let's be a little bit adventurous.
All right, there we
What do
go.
you think?
All righty.
Well, it
I
makes
think it makes
me
sense.
happy.
Love this. This is a fun bunch of colors. All right. 2.1 ounces. We are good to go.
All right.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do, Yes.
I gotta watch this over here.
I'm going to take the Firestar out of the equation for a minute. And we're going to look at the colors. Love these colors. So I'm just laying them out so that we can look at them.
You see, like, look how they look. This is good.
So
I like it.
there can be stripes, there can be random, there can be layers, so where you do kind of one layer of this at a time, and what you wind up with, the yarn that you wind up with in the end is flecks of all the different colors, which is fun. You don't get color blocks. It kind of depends on what you're doing. Are we spinning this or are we felting this?
We're
Okay,
gonna
fair enough.
leave it in the
Or are we leaving it in the bag?
we're gonna leave it in a braid.
Okay, so it will come off in a sheet, and we'll start out with a sheet, and then we're going to go drag Miranda over here and see if she will demo dizzing for us, so we can get it off in a thin rope.
Right.
And then it won't come off anywhere near this thick. That thickness of roving you're typically only going to get from a commercial mill, because they have the equipment to make it be that thick. But we can get it off as what's called pencil roving, which means it's basically the width of your finger, and it still works just like that.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
It's from like Norway.
The Lopi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one really famous Icelandic yarn that comes just like that.
Yeah.
All right, so now, stripes, random bits, layers. There are other options, but those are the three I'm going to give you right now. Doesn't
I
even
think
care.
I think
Random bits.
okay.
Random
All
bits,
right.
awesome.
Joe, random bits or layers?
Or stripes.
Or stripes?
Does Joe have any idea what we're asking her to opine on?
Oh,
It
yes.
will not be abrupt color
My
change.
OCD
All right.
lady can't handle that.
That is fair. All right, so it doesn't really matter what order they're in here. I am assuming that this is going in everything.
Yep.
Okay, this is hand dyed, by the way. And then, I had sparkle, which I obviously put down somewhere.
And a 10.
LOL.
Is it
Maybe we
underneath
should
the-
say that out loud before my sister got me into it, and it makes me.
What, LOL?
LOL, yeah. For years she was like LOL, and I'm like, that's
not-
sex
that's not what
speak,
that means.
Margie. That's not.
Did you put it back?
No. Oh wait, yes I did. I was cleaning up. That's fine.
It was the paler. Yeah.
No, you guys were right there looking at colors.
Yeah.
All right.
We were too engrossed in colors.
This right, and why wouldn't you be? This go on in everything also?
Sure.
Okay. All right, fabulous. So here's what we're gonna do. Now that we figured out random bits, no abrupt color changes, I am gonna take each one of these pieces and tear them apart a little bit sideways. And when I say tear, they are not being torn. Okay, they're being drafted apart, which is what you're doing in spinning anyway.
You're flattening them apart.
Yep. And
I'm just letting you know that the box.
Oh, see how she's doing that?
No, thank you.
That's very
Would you like it?
tricky.
the reason I'm
No,
doing it
thank
this
you.
way is that, and this is my opinion, I am not a great believer in the 1-2 way to do much of anything. So, when I'm presenting an immutable fact of physics, I will attempt to make that clear, and otherwise, you should just take as read that this is how I do this. It works for me. If it works differently for you, you do you.
You do you, boo. I got it.
What I'm doing at the moment is, are we going heavy sparkle, or with this kind of sparkle, or light sparkle? Or just
Medium
sparkle? Just
sparkle.
medium sparkle. All right.
Just sparkle.
So the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is that if you look at it, I want this to be usable, okay? Because you don't know what's going to happen to the end. Now, I always tell people at fiber festivals that I bought it and it's pretty is a perfectly acceptable thing to do with something you buy at a fiber festival. Take it home, put it on the shelf, look at it. A lot of people that I know have sort of scrapbook skeins of yarn, special skeins that they bought on a trip at a store, right?
Preaching to the choir here.
Right. And I would be singing in that choir also. Okay? So you can add. here. So, you know, that is, scrapbook skeins of yarn are, one of the things that they do is they're beautiful and we can look at them, you know, and we can, they give us, they carry memories with them, but they also just give us aesthetic pleasure to look at. And if this stays in a bag or in the little box that it's going to be in for the rest of its life, that is okay, because this is artwork on the way to being artwork, and it is artwork at every stage. So the reason I'm doing, thank you. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing now is that my thinking is that the probability is that at some point this artwork will become artwork of a different kind. It will become felted artwork, it will become spun artwork, it will become multimedia artwork, it will become artwork. And at that point, especially if it's being spun or felted, if all of this stuff, this doesn't felt, okay? What makes things felt is the scales on them, as you'll know, and these have no scales. So this is not a natural fiber. I don't know if that shocks anybody. Not a natural fiber. So if someone is trying to spin this or felt it, since all these fibers don't felt, if there are big chunks of them in the bat, they are going to make the felting process frustrating. And if there are big chunks of them in the bat or in the roving that we're pulling off, they are also, if they're spun, going to be disconcerting to the spinner. Part of spinning yarn is by feel. Your fingers kind of get to know what you're working with. And if you're used to working with something that is wool, and then suddenly you have this big wodge of something that doesn't behave like wool and doesn't spin up like wool, it can pop you out of the spinning process and potentially affect the end result. So what I'm doing is I'm separating all of these pieces of fiber a little bit, going sideways, so that I can make a fiber insert your food of choice reference here. Burrito, taco, sandwich, pierogi. I don't think these actually look that much like pierogies. Yes, stew works too. But you know, practically every culture I've encountered has a thing that is bread wrapped around stuff, because who doesn't like bread wrapped around stuff? And so this is sort of fiber bread wrapped around stuff. And when we get done with the first part, you'll be able to see that the shiny stuff, instead of being either on the surface of the fiber or trapped in the tines of my carton, will be integrated with the wool. And then when we put it back, I'm going to put each of these pieces through as a strip. And then when we go back through to make the randoms, then they will become even more blended. And so that means that when this artwork moves on to being its next artwork, whoever is working with it should be able to avoid that frustration of having big chunks of this non-feltable and spinnable but not animal fiber spinnable stuff pop up in the process. So that's, I'd say, everything there. All right, so put that down over here, and now I'm going to start running these through the carder. So I'm going to start on this side. I'm doing individual pieces. So if you watch what happens on that drum as I lead in with this. Okay, and you'll get to see what those look like when we pull them off. I feel like it's just like carding a unicorn princess.
Yes.
I love it.
A unicorn
I'm not sure
princess.
the princess would enjoy that much, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah, well, you know, and these are little knives on the front here. This is a Strouch carder. They are not currently being made for some sort of sad reasons. The guy who bought the company from these Strouches then died of cancer very suddenly in 2020, and he left behind a daughter, and so a very young daughter, and so the carders are not currently being made, but they're the best carders for this kind of thing, in my opinionated opinion. Right? Ask 5 fiber people what the best something is, and you'll get 6 opinions. So, all right,
I could see that.
y'all are fiber people. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. There's 3. I love that noise. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll take these first 3 off.
Oh,
So with this hook, and so you know you wonder kind of, well, it's wrapped all the way around, what's going to happen to it? There's a break in the carding cloth, which is what this stuff is called, and so I'm using this hook that came with the carder, which is a terrific tool, to separate the fiber at that break. And then I'm going to take it off. Ordinarily, removing fiber, you can just pull it off. If you pull it off, what happens is it stays behind. And I don't mind that in this case because we are going to blend these more, but I am going to go ahead and use my cleaning brush to clean them off, just to show you what that would be like. Because here's the difference. We're going to clean them off, we're going to pull it off.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so when I'm carding at shows, and I'm custom carding for folks, which is what we're doing right now, I always clean the bat off rather than just pulling it off, because for two reasons really. One is I figure if you chose all the ingredients, you should really get to have all of them in your bat. And the other one is, as hard as it is to imagine, the next person who gets a custom bat may not want a unicorn princess. You know, they may want something, you know, somber and jewel toned with no glitter, and so your glitter.
How
should go
boring
home with
would
you.
that be?
Everybody needs a unicorn princess.
That's right. That's right. But you know, I, as long as everyone involved can say a meaningful yes or no, I don't yuck other people's yum. So if your yum is muted colors, right?
I have not heard anybody else use that expression. I thought I was using don't yuck somebody else.
It's an important expression. I think.
I like it.
Yeah. So, because we do seem to have lots of people who want to yuck other people's yums, while simultaneously not wanting their yums yucked.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, which is, if you can't take what you dish out, but
Thank you.
just saying. You know, and speaking as someone who has occasionally not been able to take what she dished out and has to learn that lesson, you know,
That's a hard lesson.
it is a very hard. There are environments in my life in which I'm still learning it. But I figure since I am learning it, I can at least say it without having somebody immediately pop around the corner and go, hypocrite! All right, so here are our 6 beautiful pieces of merino. To no one's surprise, I feel I have to mention it, no one has yet managed to raise a royal blue sheep. So this is all dyed. And I do not dye my own solids for my bats. I make tonals for the colorways that I dye otherwise, but I can't, there are 70 some colors on that bat FA. I can't keep up with that. So I buy this stuff, and the people I buy it from do a really, it's a commercial concern, and they do a great job. Very consistent. Every once in a while they discontinue my favorite colors and I have a little bit of a cry, but you know, you get over that. All right, so we left a little bit behind there, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Now we're gonna start the fun part. Actually, I think this whole thing is fun.
I'm enjoying it. She's like, wait, you took my favorite color away.
She said, like, here's our 6 colors.
Right, so here's our 6 colors, right? This is the 6. I think you can see all 6 of them.
Oh my.
And right now that looks like fairy hair.
Jim and the
I love
Oh,
it.
totally. Oh my gosh, totally.
all in hologram.
Yep. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting them on in bits. Come on, stay up there. All right, so I'm just gonna start tearing pieces off them and carting the pieces back through. To start with, I'm gonna kind of try to get a little bit of each one of them on there, and then it's just gonna become really random. Okay, really? Really?
They like each other.
They do.
They're
They
friends.
do. I'm not ready for little batlets, guys. I'm not at that stage in my life anymore. All right, so there's my purple.
Oh, that's
There is,
so
of course,
pretty.
also a little bit of my blue, as we established. Put that over here, my blue-gray. A little bit of, there we go. A little bit of blue, royal blue. A little bit of teal. And
So?
I mean, you can see how scientific this is and how carefully I'm weighing each one. So you know, I mean, again, that's my method, right? That doesn't have to be anybody else's way to do anything. The fact that I think I'm always right does not mean that other people have seen the light and agree with me. So I've kind of come to terms with that. Particular limitation on the human race. That was my sarcasm face, in case no one is clear. All right. One of my partners, I've been together with my partners for 13 years, and one of them will still say, Q? Did you mean that? And I'm like, honey, after 13 years, if you have not learned to recognize sarcasm face, then I think we need spousal facial expressions therapy. So, because I need to know that you will know when I am kidding and when I am not. Bless his heart, as we say. All right. As a non, I grew up in East Tennessee, but I was raised by Yankees. I know. And I've lived all over the country, and so every time I say I lay claim to being a Southerner, the other partner who is a native Alabamian is like, you're not. But I will say that one thing we have all over other areas of the country down here is the word y'all.
Yeah.
I just picked that up. Born and raised near Chicago.
There you go.
I've moved to Florida,
Right.
and I've catch myself saying y'all.
How handy is it, right? Incredibly useful
It's
word.
a very useful word.
Here's my other question then. As someone who has lived north of the Mason-Dixon line a number of times, the other thing I really enjoy down here is the 2001 different ways you can mean bless your heart.
Oh yeah, bless her heart.
How about when somebody asks you what you want to drink and you say Coke,
Yep.
and they say
Pepsi?
Fine.
Yeah. Yep. And you say, oh, Pepsi, please. And that's the thing. Yeah, that's that. The first time that happened to me, I was like, wait, what?
Coke is no longer a brand name. It is generic like Lynette.
Right. It's a soft
or
drink.
sweet or unsweet iced tea.
Oh, well, you better specify sweet, or you're gonna get, or better specify
drink iced
unsweet,
tea.
or you're gonna get
And
sweet.
I get looked at like there's something genetically wrong with me because I don't drink iced tea.
Well, yeah.
I don't drink tea.
Like this?
Yep.
That's it. That's the base.
In Texas,
Yep.
at IHOP, I tried to order grits.
Oh, how'd that go?
How does Texas? Okay, see, this is how you know Texas is not part of the South. If they don't have grits on it. Went up to
No grits in
in
Texas.
Ohio.
Well, they have very Mexican.
Ohio had grits?
Ohio did not. No.
Okay,
They
that-
offered
Okay,
Right.
I'm from Ohio. I've never had grits in my life.
Never had.
I didn't even know it was corn until last night.
Wow. Okay. See, that's you were
Never
If
had
I
grits.
had known that, I would have got some grits when we were at that country restaurant yesterday. And I would have made you taste them.
Where in, did you say Ohio? Where in Ohio?
Up by Cleveland.
I went to college in Ohio.
Oh.
And I went to grad school the first time in Michigan. And yeah, I've lived all over the place.
Bless your heart.
I know, right? That's one of many, right? And that's the particular one that's like, well, you seem nice, so we're probably temporarily not holding against you the fact that you did not grow up down here.
Right.
But we are reserving judgment.
Yeah.
So don't screw up. Was that a correct interpretation of that version of the
much.
letter? I think so. No reflection on you. It's just, it's an infinitely variable sentence.
You use the 2001 variations of Bless Your Heart, can't recognize sarcasm. That seems oxymoron.
Now it would, except in defense of that partner, he is a native Californian.
Oh.
So he would, when he first moved to the South, he never had a boiled peanut.
Which I would never eat in my life.
I don't like
you
them
what?
myself, but
A boiled peanut.
Why not?
Oh, they look disgusting and
They
slimy.
do look a little bit disturbing. They do.
And I can't eat anything that I think looks disturbing.
Especially when they put the crab oil in there.
Boiled sounds weird.
Ugh. You're gonna make me. Ugh.
Where I'm from,
Not a
Florida,
good
where I
thing.
live, on every street corner is a food truck that sells boiled peanuts.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know they got that far south. That's fascinating.
On every street corner is somebody's truck with their big old vat
Boiled peanuts.
with their propane burner selling boiled peanuts.
And they're like boiled in the shell, right?
Well,
You
my
eat
son
the shell and
wondered why you
everything.
would do such a thing to a perfectly
Because
nice
they
peanut.
flavor them.
You don't eat the shell?
I don't.
No,
No, I
never
still
eat a
peel
peanut
them.
shell.
Even
Oh,
when they're
you
boiled?
peel?
Yeah, I don't.
I wouldn't, but when you eat them when they're not boiled, you're going to the orthodontist the next day
Right.
because you got
Yeah,
shells.
but I think the point of boiling them is flavoring.
See, I
Because it's
never
like
understood that.
Cajun, maybe. I don't know. I've never had one.
They boil them like crawfish
Yeah.
with all the seasoning.
You know what? I was 8 years old when I learned that. I just thought boiled peanuts. I grew up with that idea and grew up thinking ick. So
Well,
I
at
never
least in
tried it.
Louisiana they do.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes total sense.
Yeah, we
actually.
like Cajun or extra salty.
Yeah,
or,
and it's a good reason to boil a peanut as opposed to. I just
add
thought
the
they
flavor.
did that because they thought that would be better, and I was not sure.
But I feel like it would soften the inside of it anyway, because otherwise, how is it cooked?
Right.
Roasted.
Boiled like a boil. That is fascinating. Okay, totally buy that. All right.
All right.
Y'all ready for the reveal? We're going to take the Unicorn Princess, the thoroughly carded Unicorn Princess off, and then decide if it is still too color blocky, in which case we will put it back through, which I'm toast down with. So this is second pass, basically. Everything went through once. And you can see that there's a lot of Firestar in this. That's the I call it glitter for people who don't like glitter. That's the rope of hand-dyed stuff that y'all picked out. But by and large, it is staying where it's put. It's in with the fiber, rather than being all over the. It is floofy, and this is one of my favorite parts because now it looks like I'm going to get a little more off it. It's like a waterfall.
That's it.
Oh, it's so
It is.
pretty. It's unicorn hair.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with you.
Unicorn princess hair.
Yes,
I love it.
Totally right. And My Little Pony. And what's fun about this is the way we've done this. Once I get it off, I'm going to turn it over because you can kind of see where the basic colors went on first. We're going to check this off.
Joe, is it too color blocking for you?
So there's.
But remember that once it's in its
There's that
final,
side. Okay. And there's that side. And they look totally different. Same colors, but they look totally different.
Yeah.
Now, we're putting this back through one more time. Or are we sticking with it the way it is? I am not invested in this. I'm wearing it, but I'm not invested in it.
I don't know. I think if you mix it up too much, then it just becomes muddled.
It'll be colorful mud.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
I think it's cool. Really cool the way
All right.
it is.
I mean, I have to put it back through one more time if we're going to take it off as roving, however.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. If we're going to
because
make a
still be
yes, you
braid
have
out of
to-
it, yeah.
and that's a fair. I just thought of that because we were kind of in the process of evaluating it. You can't to diz something off of a carding surface as roving. The stuff has to be kind of under tension on the surface because you're pulling it away from the surface. So you may wind up with colorful. At the end, you may wind up with colorful mud, but it will have these colors in it. So it will not be brown mud. It will be blacklight reactive sparkly mud.
Yes.
All right, so we need to find out if Miranda can come in. Before I put this back on, we need to find out if Miranda can come and diz for us. Where do my yarn truck buddies go? I don't really want to go Miranda across the entire thing. Let's see.
Okay.
We need a Miranda. All right. Unicorn Princess hair.
It's so pretty.
Princess hair.
I love
Did they not
it.
design a beautiful
They
thing?
did.
I'm gonna
All
have
right.
to
Girls,
wear
you
that.
made a whimsical bag.
Is there anything else I need to know about putting this on here?
Nope, it just needs to be on there.
Rockin'. All right, so here we go. I'm glad I was right about that, but you know, I have finally reached the point in my life where I can admit that I don't know something without feeling like that makes me a bad person.
No,
which is-
does not make you a bad person.
No, but
Can't
there's
know
one period
everything.
in my life where I actually thought, you know, if I didn't know all the things, that somebody would be coming along to take away my, I don't know, my human card.
Right.
That was
Are you kidding? That doubles down your human.
right. Yes, I had to get there. Yeah. You know, it also took me about that same amount of time to realize that it was okay for me to say, you know what, treat me as intelligent but ignorant, because ignorant and stupid are not the same.
Correct.
This is from the wood shop.
Oh, that's an even better.
That's even
dish.
better.
Let's do that.
A vendor just right over there. We're allowing you to borrow this for this lovely demonstration.
All right.
All right.
So there's our, which still has discernible color in it. There's our.
So, and now we're gonna sing the My Little Pony song because My Little Pony. All right. You have a hook.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take just a little bit of our fiber and pop it off. Okay.
Okay.
Pop it off. Then we're gonna twist our tip and kind of loop it back.
You do the same thing. Don't you love it when teachers, we all do the medical weave? Like when they come into your hotel room and they're like, how are we feeling today? I do this in class too. I'm like, so now we're going to create a shed and then we're going to throw our shuttle. And I'm like, and that would be you are going to do
Okay, then we're gonna take this diz and push it back
Wow.
down. Okay. Now we've got a little bit of
Makes that look so easy.
fiber that still didn't pop off here, so we're gonna. And when you're doing this, you're gonna lose a little bit of fiber. That's okay. I like to, when I'm doing it, I then make another bat that matches.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
there we go.
Okay, then I stabilize the card with my hand. I pre-draft and push it back down.
What does pre-draft mean in this
So I'm
case?
pre-drafting just like if you were spinning. So
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of loosen the fibers.
Okay.
And pull them together because then they're gonna come through that diz.
Okay.
Pull it down.
I actually think that I'm watching this because this is something I'm only just learning how to do, and Miranda is showing me a lot of things I did not know. One of which is I didn't realize that you just sort of accepted as part of the process that you leave behind some of the fiber.
Yep.
I thought I was doing it wrong.
Nope.
Because couldn't get all the fiber out the garden club.
Nope.
Did I
No.
mention that I am not actually yet successfully saying I don't know how to do this thing?
So you're gonna leave some behind, and that's just the nature of just if you were using hand combs, anything.
Okay.
Some of that fiber, because of the way that our cards have that angle, and we've scrunched it down here on this bat.
Yep.
Now, for me, if I'm taking a full bat off, it's a little easier to take a comb and go flip, 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 flip. I can't quite do that yet. So this way of taking it off, I'm getting a longer piece because I can go all the way across the drum.
Oh, cool.
You can go zigzag across your drum as well.
You can go zigzag across.
However, I don't like to zigzag across as much.
Okay.
Because I have a tendency to lose or get chunkier.
Okay.
So I don't have a more as a consistent pull.
This is good to know.
So
Okay.
pulling off.
How'd you make this look so easy?
And part of it is our Angelina.
And a lot of Firestar.
And a lot of Firestar
Yep.
is sticky.
Yep.
So that makes it
It's
stick.
coming out pretty though.
Okay, so that
Oh, yeah, sorry.
we've come to this centerpiece, and we know that we've lost some. This is our opportunity to pick up some of the stuff that we left behind. So, and I use, on this process, rather than a hook, I use a screwdriver.
I have one, but it's not. You probably use one that has the long blade. Yeah, the one I have is an IKEA one with exchangeable ends, so that probably won't help you.
So I just use a regular flathead screwdriver, and we're gonna kind of come over here and pick up some of this stuff that we left behind last time, and see how it's pulling into our bat.
Wow, that's amazing.
And part of it is that we've got so much Firestar and Angelina.
Well, it's Unicorn Princess hair. If you didn't have Firestar and Angelina,
right?
it would be
It wouldn't
ordinary
be
hair.
what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Randy, you get it.
Okay. We'll just pull with my fingers because you've got a large enough
Yeah, the break of
dent
the glove.
there is.
I have it if you need it.
Pull off some more of that. And if there's not blood in your stuff, then you're not doing it right. I'm a sheep shearer, can you tell?
Yes, actually. It's, is it, no, you know what? I'm not going to ask the question that occurred to me because I don't need the answer.
Come on, Q.
I just wondered if when you're talking, if saying that in the sheep shearing context, is it the sheep is bleeding or the shearer?
The shear.
That actually makes me feel slightly bitter.
So now,
I want something to like, here, have a bowl.
so I just nest it up.
Okay.
And you can put it in a bowl, you can do all the things. Or if you're a crazy ambidextrous person, you can just keep it in your hand. But I'm not that crazy ambidextrous.
I qualify as one of those things.
Right? Crazy.
And I'm very right-handed, so yeah, y'all can draw your own.
So I've gotten a little thin there, so I'm just going to pop it off.
I'm looking forward to this part too, because where do you start when that happens?
We just start all over there.
Okay.
And now you have rainbow unicorn
is that
hair
pretty? Wow.
that's going to spin up. So it's going to spin a little different than your bat.
Yep.
Right.
Because now your fibers are going to blend even more than if they were on your bat and you're pulling apart your bat.
That is really cool.
Then
really
we
cool.
just go and start over. Same process. But in your Diz, you'll see that there's 3 sizes of holes. So this is going to be designed or is designated for how thick you want your roving. So we were doing the larger hole. If we do this itty bitty one, you're going to be here forever. But
Yeah.
but you're ending up making something like pencil roving.
The Lopi,
So-
we were talking about Lopi earlier, the Icelandic, basically pencil roving yarn.
So this one is much smaller. This is such a fine fiber material that we would be pulling single strands through on these. So
It looks great. Oh my gosh, did you do that? On your desk?
we just twist it, and then so we're gonna go into this smaller hole now.
Oh, we're gonna do a smaller hole.
Well, we're not doing the super tiny because I don't think that we'll make it through
Wow, that's a
just
fine
because of the fiber content.
This is beautiful.
This is a smaller hole than the
The first one, yeah.
Okay, and the reason for that is
So that is just we want a smaller amount of fiber as our roving. So this is it's easier for me to spin a bulkier yarn because I now have a bulkier roving, where this is gonna spin a thinner yarn without having to strip it out. Because roving, if you're familiar with roving versus comb top is generally what, like, I'm sure you have comb top bats in here too somewhere.
Not bats.
Oh,
no.
they're not bats.
No,
meant
I just
braids.
have comb roving.
Yeah.
Comb top.
Yeah.
The dye. Yeah.
Yep. So all those fibers are in one direction, so it's really easy to strip them out. This, all the fibers are going So when your fibers are going, it's really hard to strip that out to get a thinner yarn. So you're drafting to get your thinner yarn. So this is pre-doing some of that work for you.
And also, pre-drafted preparations, bats are essentially sort of pseudo pre-drafted preparations. Rologs function that way. Things that are actually drafted as part of the creation process are much easier to spin for anybody, but especially when you are starting your spinning journey and you have enough pieces of physics to be accounting for without having to also be wrestling with partially felted roving. And the process of dyeing affects the fibers that are dyed. I mean, they're mostly not partially felted in any way, but they are definitely a little more solid than this prep is going to be. So these are great preps for people who are starting their spinning journey on whatever tool.
Yep.
You know, whether it's an acoustic wheel, or what did you call them? An unplugged wheel, an e-spinner, a drop spindle, a supported spindle. You have one fewer things to worry about if you're working with a pre-drafted prep.
And I'm used to my wheel that's an my electric drum partner, so it has a brake.
Yeah, so I was wondering, would it help if I braced it a little bit?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I'm just, we're moving and shaking.
Yeah.
Yep.
That actually might be very useful. I have an electric carter that I have not broken out of its box yet.
Let me tell you, my
That
electric
is
carter
exactly it.
makes my life so much easier.
What kind do you have?
I have a Sweet Southern Creations. So he's a local woodworker in Missouri.
Is it 20 something?
Nope.
Okay.
No, he's
somebody's got a new self-cleaning drum carter out. He's like 26.
He's a 70 something.
Sweet Southern Creations.
Yep, and his name is Bubba.
Okay. And he makes carters?
He makes carters because his wife was a fiber artist and he was a woodworker.
That's fabulous.
And so he supported her journey,
I love
and now she's supporting his journey.
Oh, I love that.
And I am a big proponent of, I'm trying to support my local state.
Agreed.
So all the wool comes from where we shear, all the equipment
fabulous.
comes from where I'm at, if I can.
Yeah.
So
Can't always do that, but when you can, that's really fabulous.
Yep.
Okay, so because this one is in the thinner
Yep.
thinner hole, so the one that was already in the bowl, is that going to be like, would you have to?
You'll have to pre-draft
label
it
them
just a little.
separately?
No, it's just you'll have to watch when you spin.
Yeah.
So you'll just have to draft the one in the bowl just a little bit more.
But you can make a consistent yarn
Yep.
out of any width of this pencil. You could make a consistent yarn if you had this prep in roving and spun from it. It would just take more prep to get it there.
Yep.
But if you had a whole braid that looked like this, color and sparkle wise, you could still combine them all
Same
together.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep. See, and we're still picking up some of those pieces that we left behind.
One of the ways you can tell, one of many that you can tell Miranda's really good at this, in all seriousness, is that she's not leaving very much behind.
Right.
That she's getting most of it out of the teeth.
And it's not breaking into chunks
And
of lots and lots of
Yes, which is the problem I have when I do is that I pull and then it separates and I'm like, oh good, I have 3 inches of roving.
Right. Well, and that's all about your draft.
Okay.
So if just like when you're spinning, when you're dizzing off, there's at the very beginning there's a where is this wool break?
Okay.
So
okay, I got
I'm
it.
pulling.
Yep.
Am I Charlie Browning? I'm sorry. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so on the end, as you start to begin to spin, you have tension, right? So I'm tension, 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 tension. It's soft. So that tension, 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 it's learning just before where that break
So it's
off
like
is.
drafting it when you're
So
spinning.
just like when you're drafting.
Interesting. Okay, did not know that. I am learning so much about dizzing. Well, I teach a class, an art pet class from dog homes to drum carters.
Yep.
And I get asked sometimes, can you take rologs and roving off a drum carter? And the answer I've had to give up to now is yes, but I can't do either thing well enough even to show you, let alone to teach you.
Right.
And so it's been on my list to learn how to do both of those things, and my list is at last count about 87 miles long.
You can even diz off of a blending board.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
Okay.
So you loosen the ends of your blending board, and then you just work yourself back and forth like a typewriter. And now you've created roving off of your blending board.
Okay, that's very cool. I was mistakenly informed at one point that in order to diz off a carding surface, you had to keep the diz flat on the surface, and that's not what you're doing, and it's clearly working. So evidently I was either misinformed or I misremembered. Even chance it was the latter.
It was a missing.
It's work.
We're good.
Where are you now?
Yeah, right. I'm into the ground still, but it's not pretty good. I had a bunch of that left over.
You're good. You're totally fine. I control most of it with my hand until we get the weight right here, and the handle is like, yay! We're at the end of the hill.
No, we're really not. Don't do that.
It's the magical end.
I'm amazed at how much of this you've gotten off.
And then that last piece, we're gonna boop. And this part is the most satisfying for me because I know that I'm at the end. So I don't even really have to diz.
Isn't that just lovely from
Oh
Brian
my
Hill?
gosh.
It's a wood shop.
Brian Hill at the wood shop.
Okay, that is
It is
awesome.
a smooth diz.
It's a really nice. He's got a
really nice
stack of them
diz.
over there. They're $5.
All right, I'm
So,
gonna go get one of those.
and
'cause that's a
there's-
great diz. I don't like the dizes.
So you're gonna get your unicorn rainbow.
Look how much
Looks
it's different.
completely different.
And it's like she took almost all that off in one row.
That is
It's a
awesome.
darning musher.
That's
It's a
gorgeous.
beautiful darning musher. Same place. Wow.
Yep, there you go.
Wow. It looks like
Round of applause.
soft serve. It looks like My Little Pony soft serve.
It does. I'm gonna be singing My Little Pony all the rest of
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry, but at the same time,
Thank you so very, very much.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And then we can just
and I'll get the cleaning brush out and I'll clean the rest of it off.
Yep.
And the little bits and pieces will go with the
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Angry sheepdog. Yep.
Angry sheepdog. We'll show you. Be there.
Fantastic. And hand-dyed fire star. And we weighed it beforehand, and this is just something I do because, you know, when whoever takes this to its next stage of artworkery, whenever they get to that point, then they'll know what they're working with.
Okay.
What did we decide this was? Unicorn princess hair?
Yep, unicorn princess hair.
Princess hair. Okay. All right. So is this the little one?
That's
Yes.
the little one, yeah.
Okay. The little one may have to be by itself.
That's okay.
The rest of this, if I can get my pokey
The
stabby
little
tools out
one,
of
just
the way.
leave. We'll keep that.
All right.
We'll share the little one.
Braid it out. So this is basically the way I braid and the way I learned how to braid. You're making your hand crocheting chain.
Oh, finger crocheting a chain to make the braids.
Yep.
That's why when she said it yesterday, I was like, it's a chain. It's not a braid, but I guess braid sounds better.
Yeah, and
more foo-foo.
yeah, I think that's probably right.
She has very experienced fingers at this.
I have done a lot of this. I'm also going slowly because the dizzing process, especially when you make, when we made Miranda talk in the middle of it, and she did, God, this is beautiful. There are places where it's thinner and thicker, and I don't want to, if you want it in a braid, I don't want to separate it. So I'm easing those parts through the coil of the braid. So this is going to look even more like princess hair when we're done with it.
Do you want, there is our braid.
How cool is that?
That is
amazing.
awesome.
And it really, really, really looks like somebody cut off like Unicorn Princess Hair's braid. And the Unicorn Princess Hair is actually Rapunzel, and now she's free. I don't know. All right, so there's that. So I can.
Okay, so you can scan this.
Thank you.
There's a sheep shearing company, and then the dog is the fiber company.
Yep.
Okay. So now we are spinning. We did the whole make your fluff,
Yep.
and we dizzed it,
Dizzed. Yep.
and now you spin it.
Yeah, you spin it. So now we're adding twist to the fiber that we would have taken off of that drum carder.
And she's working this with her feet.
Yep. So I'll give you kind of the breakdown. My feet are on the treadles.
Okay.
The treadles are connected to something called footmen. So that's
come up
these
this side
guys.
for a second.
Yep. These guys right here are footmen, and they're connected to the larger wheel. The larger wheel is connected to the smaller flyer wheel, and that's what twists this. This whole chunk is called the mother of all. So she's in charge of everything, and that's gonna suck up the tension that we add to this bobbin is what makes it feed onto the spinning wheel. And so we'll spin a bobbin or 2 or 3 or 4 and then twist it back on itself. So I already have a bobbin of this completed. Once I fill this one up, we'll twist those two together and it becomes yarn.
Oh, so it's not really considered yarn when it's here?
No, this is considered a single.
Oh, so that would not even be a thing like a fingering weight or anything?
No, this is just the single. Now you can have yarns that are made of just single, but you have to wet set them, so you have to get them real warm so that they set that twist.
Oh.
And then they can do this, but they have a tendency to be very fragile. So where if we ply them, then they're twisted against each other and it makes it a sturdier product. So
very interesting.
And then all of our fiber is we rescue it. So our family shears the sheep and otherwise would be thrown away by the farmer, and we take it and process it and turn it into things and then give some of those proceeds back to those farmers to encourage them to keep having wool sheep.
Because some sheep are not wool sheep.
Because some sheep are not wool sheep. Yes, there's hair sheep and wool sheep.
And they've become predominant in the market because people feel like the wool's not worth anything. And it's a pain because they have to shear them sometimes twice a year. And that's just an expense and a burden that they don't get anything back from. And so then they're sitting around with sheds full of wool
that they're not using.
It just goes to waste.
Well, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. Why wouldn't they sell it to spinners?
Well, so a lot of them don't have the time or knowledge to find spinners. And in this environment, we have created a lot of processed wool, and a lot of spinners know this portion of it, but don't know the fiber prep part of it. They don't know how to wash it and clean it and card it and do all of those things. So we're kind of taking that step out so that they can have dizzed off fiber that they can spin and still make something, and so the shepherd helps.
So all of this has been through the carding.
Yep.
That we did earlier.
Yes. All of that has been through and dizzed off on my kitchen table.
Oh.
So a lot of people will send their fiber off and go to a mill. My mill is my kitchen table.
And then you turn it into these beautiful works of art there.
The Wool Growers Association have pretty well bankrupted, and that's the reason why farmers won't mess with it, because they don't want to pay you anything for it. I have long wool sheep, and so if I was to sell that to the wool growers, they tell me that they can't use my fiber because it's too long for their machinery, and so they would have to cut the fiber because it's 8-inch staple length versus 2-inch staple length. And so that's how they've gotten to the point where they can steal it from me. Now they go use it, they go ahead and use it, but it takes out the benefit for me. So I'm not getting anything for it, so why would I bother trying to keep it and skirt it and get them to give it away? And that's why people just throw it in the ditch. And so it's a sad thing because we can make it into beautiful things that are worth, a lot of money.
Right.
People are, if you
this yarn here, is this yours?
This is all Miranda stuff. This is all stuff she's processed, dyed, all by hand, combed out. These are what you call bats. I'm going to take one apart.
Yep, they did a bat at the...
Yeah, we made one.
Okay, yep. These...
We made...
They made unicorn bats.
We made unicorn princess hair.
There. Now, when you roll that out, like that, then you're just going to start here and you're going to part it like that, and then it turns into what she's doing right there.
Right.
You section it off into smaller sections so that you can turn it into, well, you can spin the bigger portions, but it makes a bigger yarn. She's making almost lace weight stuff there, and you can ply it 1, 2, 3, and even 4 ply, 6 ply yarn.
Yep.
So one of this size would make Say in just like a worsted weight size, how much yardage ish?
So that's depends on how you spin it. So those are only about 1.5 ounces. So you're only looking about 50, 60 yards.
Okay.
Like that. So they're not huge amounts of yarn, but that's just because that's the size of my drum carder. They make drum carders that are enormous.
Sure.
You can have huge bats. You can have 5, 6, 7, 8 ounce bats. So it's all about, but you don't even need that. You could go behind you and you can make Rolex, which are just tiny itty bitty bats.
It looks like dreads.
Yep. So
You can have
those are
dreadlocks.
made on hand carts. So you can take something like these, which are just little hand carts, and you make these guys, which are the same prep, but you need less tool.
Less tool. I
Yep.
like that.
So we can really make it accessible for anybody. So because these hand cards, yeah, you can go spend money on hand cards, but you can also just go to Walmart and get a couple dog brushes, and you can do the same thing.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Our goal is to really make fiber as accessible to everyone that's interested in it as humanly possible.
That is so awesome. That's very cool. The sad thing is I'm allergic to wool.
That's the worst part.
I know. I'm like, I want to be able to do all of that,
But there's so many other fibers. There's mohair, there's Angora goat, there's Angora rabbit, you can spin dog. Like there's all sorts of possibilities out there. You don't have to just do wool.
and cotton.
And cotton, yeah.
I mean, cotton would be the same process.
Mm-hmm. Cotton is a little more difficult. It requires a little more spin, so it requires a little more twist on it. But it's still there. There's still potential there to do it. Linen, you can do lots of flax. All those things.
I saw somebody doing that one time.
Yep. So you can still do all of those things. Bamboo.
Bamboo, I love bamboo.
So there's still potential there to do all sorts of fabulous stuff.
So you have on.
This is for balling it up. So when she spins it, and then she puts it into what they call a hank, which is when you pull it apart,
like that.
it looks like this.
Right.
Okay. Now you can't really do anything with that because it's going to be a knobbed up mess. So then you put it on the Swift, and then you ball it up here, and when that comes off, it's just like what you go to Hobby Lobby and buy.
That's
No, it's
look.
not like it's
It's all knobbed up.
It's not
Way not like what you
So
buy
then
at Hobby
it turns
Lobby.
it into a product that you can actually
Right.
knit or
Crochet gives you
or
a
weave,
ball.
crochet, whatever, because it just makes it usable.
Yeah.
and not snarl.
Yeah.
With hopefully no knots.
Yep.
Well, thank you, ladies, so
Thank
very
you.
much. So beautiful. This looks like Ohio State colors right here.
The Buckeyes.
Yep. Oh, I love this with the green and the purple.
So that's blue face Leicester. So that's from my sheep from my farm.
Right there at the top of the list.
Really?
Yeah.
DK, wait, that is so pretty. So pretty. I would love to be able to work with that. I like the fringe too. Now, where's your business card?
We are in southern Mississippi, North Pasquishan area. It's a little bitty community called Dido. Like if you blink, you'll miss it. So that's where we are. We have a little farm, and I travel and I share. So I have some of my clients here on the table, but then I also have some that are all wholesale. We have some of our Angora goats here. They're at mohair. This is Buttons right here, and this is Bo Peep.
Oh
And
my goodness.
We have to share our flocks every year. We have Shetlands and baby dolls and baby doll Shetland crosses. We have the mohair, the Angora goats. I make my own soaps. This is it's a grass-fed beef tallow. Rendered that and mixed with olive oil and coconut oil. And so the only thing that additive that I put in there was the scent. So they're very gentle on the skin, especially in the wintertime. And then I had a friend, she has a small business where she lasers, and so I had her laser print some of these stitch markers for me, and then the rest I bought. This is handmade right here, and this is 3D printed. And then I just bought these wholesale and I made all those myself. And this is I believe this is Gulf Coast native that I can't remember, but I dyed this. So we have, like I said, we have a little bit of everything. A friend of mine, she's in college. She's a young girl. She's about 20, 21. And she started sewing, and she does a good job. So she sewed some bags for me, bought those from her. And so, like I said, we have a little bit of everything.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
This is so fun. Yeah, I'm Charmed Grammy Crochet
Okay, I'm going to look you up.
on YouTube. And spun merino. This is, my daughter would love that.
That was one of my first hand spun.
Yes, she would love. It's so, the thick, the thin, and those are her colors. She would totally 100% love that.
Oh, yeah.
And she would say, Mom, what are you going to make me? And I would say, it's merino, nothing.
Oh, you came the other day, and
Yeah.
you're sensitive to the...
Yeah, I'm a...
And then it's just getting loaded on here.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, I have an orifice reducer on here, and I'm currently spinning an S, so that means I'm spinning counterclockwise.
And when you run out, you just put more on there.
And when I run out, I just put more on there. So what I'm doing right now over here in my other hand is I'm pre-drafting, which means I'm basically splitting it into small pieces that are easier for me to manage. And if somebody came up, this is a sample basically, so as someone came up and they wanted to spin on it, then the pre-drafted fiber is a lot easier for them to handle. So that's why we do that for our demo purposes. So, and I will pre-draft quite a bit, but yeah. So what I'm doing back behind that pinch point is I am actually drafting. So that means I'm pulling those fibers across each other, just like she did on the pin with her Diz this morning. So pulling those fibers across each other to make it a little bit thinner, okay? And when I do that, it pulls the colors apart too. You can kind of see how that happens. So it's a balance, it's a learning curve. So what I typically recommend, and this is what my friends who are much more talented spinners than I recommend, is if you're getting started, I love a good electric wheel because I don't have to think about treadling. If you're starting with a treadle wheel, I recommend sitting down for the first 3 weeks, and all you do for 20 minutes every day is you treadle. You treadle one direction for 10 minutes and you treadle in the other direction for 20 minutes. And that is all you do. I don't treadle. So, because I can't coordinate myself.
I don't see that I could do that.
I cannot coordinate myself to do that. So I don't do that. It is not my jam. I don't enjoy it. I'm perfectly capable of doing it. I just don't like it. So what I do enjoy doing is drafting. And so the electric wheel allows me to basically focus on drafting. So all I'm worried about is how much fiber is entering in between these fingers to get twisted into it. So if I let more fiber in, so watch what happens when I get more fiber in. It's thicker, right? So if I draft it thinner, if I let less fiber in, what happens?
Now you get thread.
I get really skinny thread. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you just kind of get the feel of this is how you want the thickness.
I get the feel of what thickness I want. And most people like art yarn. The art yarn that you make at the beginning of your spinning journey, you'll probably never be able to return to. You'll miss it. You'll be like, man, I wish I could make bigger yarn. So I make a lot of fingering weight. I make a lot of cobweb singles, and then I'll make fingering weight yarn now. Fingering to sport. But I like playing with a lot of different fiber types. I'm working with a superwash Shanico right now, which is it's a breed of sheep that is bred in the Pacific Northwest, in Oregon, specifically in that area. There's several co-ops. It's a trademark sheep. It's a cross of Merino and Rambouillet. So it's got a lot of crimp, but it's got the softness of the Merino. So the crimp from the rambouillet and the fiber length, which is great because a little longer fiber means that it's not going to readily pill and it's going to be a little more durable in our hands. Crossing it with the merino gives us the softness. And that is what a lot of people look for when we... So this was earlier, this was somebody practicing. And so you can see that they didn't add a lot of twist into theirs, whereas mine has a lot more twist.
So now it's ready to use, or you got to ply
So I would
it?
ply it. I prefer plying.
So what does that exactly mean that
Plying
happens?
means that I will take 2 bobbins of similar-ish weight, and I will put them on a lazy Kate, which is basically just a holder that lets it spin freely. And I'll flip this little switch, and I'm going to spin it. I'm going to spin in the opposite direction, locking that twist together, and I'll feed it right back through. And as I do that, it's going to twist those fibers around each other, just like a rope. And that's what plies are in yarn. That's all it is.
Right.
It's just strands spun in the opposite direction in which they are plied. So, that's it. The more twist you add, the stronger the yarn. The more plies you add, the stronger the yarn. In almost every
should try
case. Would you like to try?
You got to try it.
I was there. I was going. That was good.
She's good. I would have been like,
Listen,
oh, hey.
I test gravity on a daily basis.
I was looking for y'all.
Right here, I'm going to pretend I'm knowing what I'm doing.
Okay.
You want to step that way?
Yeah,
because
we're gonna get her on the camera.
Around. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prep this for you, okay? But you're gonna pinch point is that gatekeeper. And remember, you're drafting behind there. You don't have to draft a bunch. This is already pre-drafted. Okay. I am gonna slow you down a little bit. And this is all. So the wheel comes with the plug-in for the wall. I have a battery in the bottom of it, which we also sell. And so it's all operated by this little switch. So when I turn it on, it's going to start spinning. You can let it in. There you go. Now slide your fingers back and gate keep. There you go. So squish and then draft behind there. There you go. Now let it in. Slide your fingers back. Slide your gate back. So I'm going to pause. That's okay. There's pigtails, but that's okay. So what you're going to do is you hold it here, and then you're going to untwist just a little. Not hard. So hold it, and then right behind that, you're going to untwist just enough so you can pull backwards, so you can draft. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
So pull back just a little bit farther. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Do you feel it? You feel that pull?
Yeah.
You feel it starting to spin a little bit? There you go.
Go ahead.
Okay. So now you're gonna let this in, and then this is gonna be your new gatekeeper. Now switch. There you go.
The knit ones, but it's like.
Alright. So
this is a little bit above my pay grade. Go ahead.
it's okay. So what you want to do is instead of pulling it all the way back out, you're just going to twist right here to give yourself a little room to work. That's where you're going to do. This is a little longer staple length, like I said, than the merino. So the merinos are typically a 3 to 3.5 inch staple. When you're talking rambouillet, you're talking 5 to 6 inches, or 4.5 to 5 inches. So when you're doing that, you're thinking, okay, well, I'm crossing those two. So about a 4 inch to 4.5 inch staple length. So that means that those fibers are only growing this long, 4 inches. Okay? So when they come off the sheep, they're that long. And then when we pull them apart from each other, that means our fingers, when we're pulling, when we're drafting, they need to be farther apart than 4 inches. Does that make sense?
A little bit? Yes, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you pull on a string that's like this, and you have nowhere to go, there's nothing to pull apart, then it won't come apart.
Right.
But if we have two strings laid next to each other like this, and I'm pulling past those end points,
Right.
the ending points, that's where it works. All right, there you go. Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, let it in. Yep, and then move your fingers back, way back, way back. Keep going. Keep it going. Yep. Yeah. There you go. So new gatekeeper. There you go.
You're doing so
Yeah.
good.
You are. You're doing great. All right. We're going to pause because you're right at the end. So what's going to happen is we're going to lay this on here. And what's going to happen is they're going to twist together, and then you're going to have, so pinch right there for just a second while that's a little, so go ahead and let that twist come back. No, don't pull from the bobbin. Pull from the fiber.
Okay.
Pull the fiber. Nope, other way. There you go.
Okay.
So see how that twisted together?
Yep.
You made
Yep,
magic happen.
right there.
So now your new twist point is way back here because we have all this bunched up here. So you can actually keep going backwards. So keep drafting back behind. So draft some more. Keep, and don't be afraid of it. You're not going to hurt it. Now move, yeah. See how that all that twist is kind of moving back now?
Yeah,
So now when I turn it on, you're going to just let it kind of ride up here all the way onto the bobbin, okay?
Okay.
Let it come all the way up if it will. It may not want to. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We want it all on the bobbin. There you go. Now, new draft point. Way back there. Let this one go. There you go. Now let it in. Yeah. It's gonna hang now.
Yeah, because I screwed it up already.
That's okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come back here and like I said, I'm gonna untwist it a little bit and I'm gonna draft. And what I can do is say, all right, I'm good for a minute and let it go. And when I do that, it's gonna give me a better twisting point and I can pull a little bit of that twist out.
Okay.
Just
After 30 seconds, I can already see I'm already frustrated.
Okay, I'm back. So, now that you watched the whole video, I want to give a formal thank out to the Fold Out Cat from Custom Cat Bat. This is the actual, what did we call it? Unicorn princess hair that we had made, and then she puts it in this little like leftover container, but makes it into a little clear purse with putting the handle on it like that. Let me show you the Custom Cat Bat princess hair. First, let me show you her card up front. This is up front of her card, so you can get all the information if you are she does hand, custom. So if you are into wanting to try to spin your own yarn and have the bat made for you, this is what was in ours. Though it's mostly wool. The Angelina is that real sparkly stuff, and then there is some sparkle, actual sparkle in it as well. So all of this is what's in here, and this is our braid. It's actually just like single crocheted. It's very soft, and this is what ours looks like. Now, if you were going to spin this yourself, or have it spun, they separate it into smaller sections, as you saw her do when she was doing the Diz thing with the Diz. And so then you would get like the color variations would be different. But it's got all the pretty colors. There's pinks and greens and blues and teal and sparkle. But it's not like a tinsel sparkle. Anyway, it's very cool. And I want to thank you so much for whipping this up for us. I just totally love it. And it's got all my yarn sisters and me, as they say, as the song goes. I got all my sisters and me in here. And I am doing this as a giveaway. So if you would like to receive this hand custom designed yarn bat, and you want to spin it, more power to you. If you want to attempt to spin it, more power to you. If you want to just hang it on your wall as a memento, that's what I would do with it if I were keeping it. But I bought this and had this had her and asked her to do the demonstration for us so you could see it, knowing that this would be a giveaway yarn. So, or almost yarn, fiber. If you were interested in having this, you need to make a comment in the in the comment section. You need to leave a comment, or else I won't know you were even here. And you, doesn't have to be anything specific. Just say something. If you want to leave a comment because you just want to comment about something, that's completely fine. But you don't want to participate. Now remember, this is mostly wool, so I mean, I cannot work with wool. But I would still enter because I would hang this on my wall and think that that's really cool. So, you know, feel free to enter even if you're allergic to wool and won't be spinning it, or not allergic to wool and won't be spinning it. Don't stop don't stop from entering. I guess that's what I'm saying. But you have to leave a comment if you're going to enter because, it's the only way I can pick you from the comment picker. It doesn't have to be anything specific, just be nice. You have to, by commenting and agreeing to accept the prize, if there's any kind of issue as far as legal from any company, anything, you're agreeing to all the legalities of participating in a giveaway. You have to be, I'm sorry, Continental US, because otherwise it's just too expensive. So anyway, congratulations to whoever is gonna win. I'm gonna congratulate you in advance. I'm gonna wish you all a lot of luck. I hope that you enjoyed the video. There will be more because we did some I haven't even shown you what I received this weekend and what I purchased and all of that. So I will do that in the next video. It'll be like 3 yarn videos in a row. I do have some travel stuff, but not a lot. So I'm going to put that together in another video. But I was without internet. I couldn't load videos. So now I'm kind of going out of order as to what was actually happening, but it is what it is. So, again, if you want to win, you have to comment. You have to be subscribed. I forgot to mention that. And you have to, accept all the terms and conditions of anybody that can put terms and conditions on a giveaway, aside from myself. This is not a sponsored giveaway other than by me and the girls that helped me pick out the yarn. So anyway, good luck, and I will leave this open for probably about a week, and I'm not sure when this is going up. This video probably won't go up for another day or so, so I'll leave it open for about a week. I'm gonna say, I don't have anything in front of me to tell me. Today is the time of filming. This is the 23rd. This video will probably go up on the 25th. So a week from February 25th. Let's say that. Let's do the drawing then. Okay? All right. I will see you later. Bye-bye.